Your mother is fighting for her life and every second counts. Marcus Williams, a powerful billionaire, races to the hospital only to discover something he never expected. His wife, the woman he trusted most, has a secret plan, one that could destroy everything he's built. Betrayal, greed, and deception lurk in the shadows while he struggles to save his mother. Can Marcus uncover the truth in time and turn the tables? Or will the betrayal break him completely? If you're new to this channel, make sure to subscribe. Marcus Williams parked his sleek black SUV in the hospital lot, his hands tied on the steering wheel. The city lights reflected off the glass building, but nothing could distract him from the panic rising inside. His mother, Eleanor Williams, was in critical condition. The call from the hospital had been brief and urgent. He had felt his heart drop the moment he heard the words life-threatening. He ran through the automatic doors, his expensive shoes clicking sharply on the tile floor. Nurses and visitors moved around in blurred motions. Marcus did not notice any of it. Every step took him closer to the intensive care unit where his mother lay. He had known life could be unpredictable, but seeing her lying frail and weak in a hospital bed was a blow he was not ready for. "Mr. Williams?" A young nurse approached, clipboard in hand. Her eyes were professional but carried a hint of concern. "Yes, where is she?" Marcus asked, his voice steady but tight with emotion. "Room 402. We are preparing her for surgery." "It is urgent," she said. Marcus nodded, ignoring the paperwork. He walked faster, his mind racing through everything he had done to ensure she was healthy. His mother had always been strong, always the pillar of the family. Now she looked like a fragile figure on the bed, tubes and machines surrounding her. He reached her side and gently took her hand. Her skin felt thin and cold under his fingers. He studied her face, noticing the pallor, the shallow breaths, and the subtle tremble. He swallowed hard. "Mom, I am here. You will be fine," he said, trying to sound calm. The machines beeped steadily, each sound a reminder of how serious the situation was. Doctors moved in and out, giving him short updates and brief instructions. Marcus watched every motion, absorbing each word, feeling a mixture of fear and determination. He would do whatever it took to save her. For a moment, he allowed himself to be vulnerable. He tightened his grip on her hand and whispered, "You raised me to be strong. Now let me be strong for you." He sat beside her bed, his mind a storm of worry, hope, and fear. Marcus Williams, the powerful billionaire, the man who commanded boardrooms and influenced the city, now felt powerless against the one thing he could not control. Marcus had just left his mother's room for a brief moment to make a call to the doctor. When he felt a presence behind him, he turned and froze. Vanessa, his wife. She was standing near the reception desk, perfectly poised in a tailored dress, her hair flawless, her posture elegant. On the surface, she looked calm, almost radiant, but there was a sharpness in her eyes that made Marcus pause. "Marcus," she said, her voice smooth and controlled, "I did not expect to see you here so soon." Her tone was polite, but Marcus sensed something underneath. Her smile was too measured, her words too precise. There was tension in the way she held herself, a subtle stiffness that betrayed anxiety. He remembered all the times he had trusted her completely, never questioning her intentions. Now, in this sterile hospital corridor, that trust felt fragile. "Vanessa," Marcus replied, keeping his voice calm even as a knot tightened in his chest. "I came as soon as I got the call. How are you here?" "I live nearby. I wanted to check on Eleanor," she said, glancing briefly toward the elevators, then back to him. Her eyes flicked away almost immediately, as if avoiding his gaze. Marcus noticed a faint crease of worry between her brows. She was hiding something. The hospital was buzzing with activity, but in that moment it felt like they were in a vacuum. Marcus's mind raced. Why would she be here alone? Why did she seem so careful with her words? His instincts, honed over years of managing high-stakes business deals, whispered that something was off. "Vanessa, is there something I should know?" he asked, stepping closer. His tone was calm, but there was steel beneath it. Her smile did not falter, but it did not reach her eyes. "Nothing you need to worry about. I am just concerned about your mother, Marcus. She is very important to both of us." Marcus studied her face, searching for cracks in her composure. There was a flicker, a hesitation in the way she held her hands. That pause was enough to confirm what he had begun to suspect. Vanessa was hiding something, and it probably had nothing to do with his mother's health. He kept his expression neutral, careful not to give away his rising suspicion. "I hope your concern is genuine," he said. His words were measured, almost casual, but they carried an edge that Vanessa did not miss. She nodded politely, her lips tightening slightly. "Of course, I just want everything to be okay. We should not let emotions cloud our judgment here." Marcus nodded but remained silent for a moment, letting her words sink in. He knew better than to underestimate her. Beneath her elegant exterior, she was calculating, and something told him that her visit was not only about concern for his mother. A storm was quietly brewing, and Marcus realized he needed to pay attention to every detail. As she excused herself to speak to a nurse, Marcus felt a chill run down his spine. This was not the Vanessa he had married. This was someone else entirely, someone who had a plan, and he had just glimpsed the first hint of it. Marcus stood at the foot of his mother's hospital bed as the senior doctor entered. Dr. Reynolds, a seasoned physician with calm eyes, gave Marcus a steady look. "Mr. Williams, your mother's condition is critical. She needs immediate surgery to stabilize her heart. The risks are high, but without it, her chances are very low." Marcus nodded, his jaw tight. He had faced difficult decisions before, but this was different. This was his mother, the woman who had raised him, the one who had shaped him into the man he was. Fear clawed at him, but he forced it down. He would not show weakness now. Not here, not in front of her. "How long before she can be in surgery?" Marcus asked, his voice firm. "We need to prepare her immediately. We will need your consent for certain procedures." "Time is critical," Dr. Reynolds said. Marcus did not hesitate. "Do whatever it takes. Name it, I will cover it. I want the best team, the fastest resources. Money is no object." He glanced at the nurses coordinating the preparations. "Do not waste time. Save her." Vanessa hovered nearby, standing just out of reach. She checked her phone for the third time in as many minutes. Her fingers tapped nervously across the screen. Marcus's eyes flicked toward her, and he noticed the tension radiating from her. She smiled at him politely when he looked, but the warmth in that smile was missing. "I hope everything will be fine," Vanessa said softly, almost rehearsed. She looked at Marcus, but her gaze quickly darted back to her phone. Marcus clenched his fist slightly. He did not have time to confront her now, but the sense that something was off gnawed at him. Every instinct he had built in years of navigating business and power told him she was hiding something. The medical team began prepping his mother. Tubes, monitors, and machines surrounded her fragile body. Marcus leaned closer, holding her hand. "Mom, I know you are strong. I know you can fight. Just hold on. I will not let anything happen to you," he said, his voice breaking slightly. As the team wheeled her toward the surgery room, Marcus stayed at her side, moving with them. He felt a surge of determination. He was Marcus Williams, a man who had conquered boardrooms, negotiated billion-dollar deals, and commanded influence at the highest levels. Nothing would stop him from protecting his family. Vanessa followed a few steps behind, still tapping at her phone, glancing occasionally at Marcus. Her anxious movements were subtle but noticeable. Marcus felt a flicker of suspicion. He would need to watch her closely. Right now, his focus was on his mother, but later, he would uncover whatever she was hiding. As the surgical doors closed, Marcus took a deep breath, centering himself. His mind raced with strategies to ensure his mother survived and to confront the shadow of betrayal he already sensed in the room. The fight for his mother's life had begun, and the fight for the truth was just starting. Marcus sat in the quiet waiting area just outside the operating room. The hum of the hospital machines and distant voices filled the space, but his mind was elsewhere. He kept glancing at the sliding glass doors, anxious for any update about his mother. Then he noticed Vanessa moving away from the area. At first, he thought she was stretching her legs, but the way she slipped into a corner, pressing her phone to her ear and lowering her voice, made his instincts alert. He had known her for years, and something about this was wrong. Marcus rose quietly, keeping a careful distance. He could hear fragments of her conversation, the words sharp and deliberate. "Yes, everything is on track. He does not suspect yet. I just need more time," Vanessa said. Her tone was calm, almost too controlled, but the emphasis on certain words made Marcus freeze. His pulse quickened. What did she mean by everything being on track? He strained to hear more, but she ended the call abruptly, tucking the phone into her bag and straightening her posture as if nothing had happened. She turned back toward him, smiling faintly, her face calm and elegant. Marcus's mind raced. Could it be related to him? To his business? To his family? The casual ease with which she returned to her polite demeanor did nothing to ease the growing suspicion gnawing at him. His instincts told him that this was more than a simple distraction. He decided to confront the situation quietly. "Vanessa, is there something you are not telling me?" he asked, his voice steady but carrying an edge of authority. Vanessa's eyes flicked toward him for just a moment before she smiled again. "Nothing at all, Marcus. I was just checking messages. You know how it is." Marcus did not respond immediately. He watched her closely, noting every small gesture, the subtle tapping of her foot, the slight hesitation in her voice, the way she avoided his gaze. All of it added up. Something was wrong, and he would uncover it. His thoughts drifted to his mother lying in surgery. He could not afford distractions, yet he realized that Vanessa's behavior might be more than personal. It could be dangerous. The idea that someone so close could have a hidden agenda sent a chill through him. Marcus clenched his fists, a surge of determination washing over him. He would focus on his mother for now, but he made a silent vow. The moment she crossed a line, he would not hesitate. He had the power, the resources, and the mind to protect his family and ensure that any betrayal would be met with consequences. As Vanessa returned to her seat pretending calm, Marcus's gaze followed her. He knew the storm was only beginning. The subtle signs of deceit were now clear, and Marcus Williams did not forgive easily. The battle of secrets had quietly started, and Marcus was ready. Marcus returned to his penthouse later that evening. The hospital visit had left him exhausted, but his mind would not rest. Something about Vanessa had unsettled him all day. Her polite words, her nervous glances at her phone, the way she moved with careful control. It all pointed to a secret, and Marcus intended to uncover it. He walked past the sleek living room, his eyes scanning for any clue. His instincts, honed over years of negotiating billion-dollar deals, told him to start with the office. He entered his private study, the walls lined with rare books and awards, and locked the door behind him. His fingers moved over the keyboard of his encrypted computer, pulling up financial records and communications he rarely checked. He did not need long to find anomalies. Accounts had been created under aliases. Contracts had been signed without his approval, and there were multiple transfers of funds that made no sense. Marcus leaned back, heart pounding. Vanessa had been working behind his back, using the distraction of his mother's illness to advance a plan. She had been scheming to take control of a significant portion of his business. The betrayal hit him like a punch. He had trusted her completely, sharing both personal and professional life, believing she was loyal. Now every memory of smiles and assurances felt tainted. He opened a folder labeled Legal Agreements and froze. There it was, a contract with a well-known corporate lawyer, detailing steps for Vanessa to assume temporary control of several of Marcus's companies. The document was complete, signed digitally, and dated within the past week. She had anticipated that Marcus would be preoccupied, giving her the perfect window to move. Marcus ran a hand through his hair, struggling to process the shock. He had faced competitors, enemies, and deceit in business, but betrayal from a spouse cut deeper than anything else. His mind raced with questions. How long had she been planning this? Who else was involved? Could he stop it in time? He exhaled slowly, gathering his thoughts. Fear was not an option. Anger flared, but he forced it into focus. Marcus had built his empire with sharp intelligence and patience. This was not just about saving his business. It was about teaching a lesson to someone who thought they could deceive him without consequences. He began organizing the evidence, making copies, and planning his next moves carefully. Vanessa might have thought she had an advantage, but Marcus knew better. Every step she had taken could now be traced, every misstep recorded. The stage was set for a confrontation, and Marcus would ensure that betrayal did not go unpunished. As he stared at the files, a cold determination settled over him. He would protect his mother, secure his empire, and confront Vanessa when the time was right. The seed of revenge had been planted, and Marcus Williams would make sure it grew with precision. Marcus spotted Vanessa in the quiet hospital corridor. The overhead lights cast long shadows across the floor. She leaned against the wall, her phone in hand, scrolling slowly. Her polished calm was infuriating. Marcus approached her, his steps measured, every muscle taut with anger and control. "Vanessa," he said, his voice low but firm. "We need to talk." She looked up, her smile flawless, eyes bright with false warmth. "Marcus, is everything all right?" "You look tense," she said, tilting her head slightly. Her voice was smooth, practiced, like she had been ready for this moment. Marcus studied her for a long beat. He knew the truth. He had seen the evidence, uncovered the accounts, the secret contracts, the meetings she had held behind his back, and yet he needed her to speak, to confirm her intentions. "I think you know exactly why I am tense," he said. "I know what you have been doing while my mother is fighting for her life." Vanessa's smile faltered for just a fraction of a second, almost imperceptible, but Marcus saw it. She straightened herself quickly and placed her phone in her bag. "Marcus, I have no idea what you are talking about. You are overthinking things. You are stressed because of your mother," she said, her tone sweet but sharp. He stepped closer, eyes locked on hers. "Do not lie to me, Vanessa. I have the documents. I know about the accounts, the contracts, the meetings. You planned to take control of my companies while I was distracted. You used my family's crisis to your advantage." Her lips curved into a confident smirk. "Marcus, you always assume the worst. You see betrayal everywhere. I am simply trying to manage things while you are emotionally unavailable. You are imagining plots where there are none," she said, her words carefully designed to gaslight him. Marcus felt the anger rising, but he kept his voice calm. Rage would not help him now. He needed to be precise. "Do not play games with me. You underestimated me. You underestimated how far I would go to protect what is mine," he said, every word deliberate. Vanessa's smirk widened. She was confident, thinking her charm and deception could sway him. But Marcus had already seen the full picture. He did not need to fight her now. He only needed to wait, plan, and let her overconfidence lead to her downfall. He took a step back, his gaze unwavering. "This conversation is over for now," he said. "But remember, I am watching. Every move you make, every word you say. Do not forget who you are dealing with." Vanessa nodded politely, still smiling, but Marcus could see the tension hidden beneath her surface. She turned and walked away, heels clicking softly on the corridor floor. Marcus exhaled slowly, letting his controlled fury settle. The storm was only beginning. He had discovered the betrayal, and now the next phase was clear. Patience, precision, and planning. Vanessa might have thought she had the upper hand, but Marcus Williams would ensure that the tables would turn. Marcus sat in the sterile waiting room, the walls stark and cold under the harsh hospital lights. The steady beeping of a monitor in the hallway echoed faintly, each sound making his chest tighten. His mother, Eleanor Williams, was in surgery, and he could do nothing but wait. He rubbed his face with both hands, trying to calm the storm of thoughts and emotions inside him. Marcus Williams, the man who commanded boardrooms, negotiated billion-dollar deals, and faced ruthless competitors, now felt powerless. This was not about money, influence, or strategy. This was about the woman who had given him life, who had nurtured him, and who now lay fragile on an operating table. The minutes stretched endlessly. He stared at the floor, thinking about every memory he had with his mother. Her laughter when he was a child, the late nights she had stayed up helping him with school projects, the advice she had given him as he built his empire. None of those memories had prepared him for the fear he felt now. A nurse passed by and offered a sympathetic smile. "Mr. Williams, she's in good hands. The team is experienced. We will update you as soon as possible." Marcus nodded but barely registered the words. His mind was elsewhere. He thought about Vanessa and her secretive behavior, about the contracts and meetings he had uncovered. Even in this vulnerable moment, the knowledge of her betrayal gnawed at him. He clenched his fists, trying to push the anger aside, focusing on his mother instead. He rose and paced the narrow corridor, each step echoing his restless anxiety. His mind replayed her words, her smirk, and the subtle manipulation she had tried to weave around him. He wanted to confront her, but he knew now was not the time. His mother's life came first. Everything else would follow. Marcus sank back into the chair, resting his forehead against his palms. For a moment, he allowed himself to feel the raw emotion he usually kept buried. Fear, helplessness, love, and guilt collided inside him. He realized that beneath the billionaire exterior, he was still a son, fiercely loyal and painfully human. Hours seemed to pass as a blur. Marcus's eyes never left the operating room doors. Every sound from within the surgical wing made him flinch. He whispered silent prayers, promising his mother that he would protect her, that he would not allow harm to come to her. When the surgeon finally emerged, Marcus rose immediately, hope and dread battling within him. He needed answers. He needed reassurance. He was ready to fight, not just for his mother's survival, but for everything else she had taught him about strength and justice. In that waiting room, Marcus Williams, the powerful billionaire, was just a son willing to face fear, pain, and betrayal. And he knew that when the time came, he would turn the tables on anyone who had tried to harm him or his family. Patience, planning, and revenge would be his tools. But first, he had to save his mother. While Marcus waited at the hospital, every minute stretched like an eternity. His focus was entirely on his mother. But in the shadows of his preoccupation, Vanessa saw an opportunity. She moved with careful precision, her heels clicking softly against the polished floor of their penthouse. She carried a folder and a phone, each step measured as if she were walking a tightrope. Vanessa entered a private office she knew Marcus rarely checked while he was away. The room smelled faintly of leather and ink, an echo of the empire Marcus had built. She set the folder on the desk, flipping it open to reveal contracts, signatures, and transfers that would grant her temporary control over parts of his companies. Each signature was a calculated move, a step closer to power while Marcus's attention was elsewhere. She dialed a number, whispering instructions to an accomplice. Her voice was calm, authoritative, and free of hesitation. "Yes, everything is set. Do not delay. He cannot know until it is finalized," she said. Her eyes flicked to the contracts again, reviewing each line for any mistakes. Her confidence was absolute. Meanwhile, Marcus had returned to the penthouse unexpectedly. A subtle hunch had pulled him back. He had sensed that Vanessa was planning something. And even though his mother was still in surgery, he could not ignore the signs. Moving quietly, he entered the office without alerting her. From the doorway, he saw her posture, her focused movements, the slight tension in her shoulders despite her calm facade. He watched as she adjusted the folder and typed a quick message on her phone. Marcus's mind raced. The betrayal was deeper than he had imagined. Vanessa had calculated this moment with precision. He stepped closer, letting the floor creak under his weight. And she froze, her hand pausing mid-motion. She turned slowly, her smile in place, but it did not reach her eyes. Marcus's presence alone shifted the energy in the room. "You thought I would not notice?" Marcus said, his voice controlled but laced with anger. Vanessa tilted her head, maintaining her composure. "Marcus, you are imagining things. I am just handling routine matters." "You have been stressed about your mother," she said smoothly, her words designed to distract and mislead. Marcus stepped closer, eyes scanning the folder. Noting every signature? Every note, every step of her plan. "You cannot hide this from me. I see everything. Every move, every contact, every attempt to take advantage of my distraction," he said, his voice calm but deadly. Vanessa's smirk wavered for a fraction of a second before she recovered. Marcus did not speak further. Instead, he studied her, every subtle gesture, every flicker of doubt. He knew patience and strategy would turn this situation in his favor. The storm was rising, and Vanessa had just made herself the target. Marcus turned and left the room silently, leaving her with the contracts and the illusion of control. The moment of reckoning was coming, and he would ensure every betrayal had a price. Marcus sat in his private study late at night, reviewing the evidence he had gathered. Every email, every transfer, every contract Vanessa had signed without his knowledge was laid out before him. He felt a calm focus settle over his anger. This was not the time for confrontation fueled by emotion. This was the time for strategy. He picked up his phone and made a call. Minutes later, trusted colleagues and legal advisors joined him, each briefed on Vanessa's secret moves. Marcus's plan was precise. He would not attack blindly. He would let Vanessa's overconfidence and greed lead her to her own downfall. The next morning, Vanessa arrived at a scheduled business meeting, expecting to finalize her takeover. Marcus entered quietly, his presence commanding. He let the boardroom fill with tension before speaking. "I believe there is something you all should know," he said. His calm tone drew every eye to him. Documents and screenshots were presented, contracts signed digitally, and secret communications revealed. The room fell silent as the full extent of Vanessa's betrayal became clear. Her smirk vanished, replaced by a flash of panic as she realized Marcus had anticipated every move. "Vanessa," Marcus said, his voice steady. "You underestimated me. You thought I would be distracted by my mother's illness. You thought I would not see your plans, but your ambition blinded you." Vanessa tried to respond, but the room no longer offered her protection. Colleagues, partners, and legal advisors were all aware of her scheme. Every step she had taken to gain control of the companies was documented and undeniable. Marcus continued, eyes cold but composed. "I value loyalty and integrity. Betrayal has consequences. Your actions will be addressed legally, and your influence here is over." She remained silent, the weight of exposure and humiliation pressing down. Marcus had turned her own strategy against her. Every attempt she had made to manipulate him now worked in his favor. As Vanessa was escorted out, Marcus finally allowed himself a quiet breath. His mother's health was still his priority, but he had regained control over his life, his family, and his empire. The storm of betrayal had been met with precision. Justice, calculated and unavoidable, had been served. Marcus stood by the window, looking out over the city he had built. He knew one thing with certainty. No one could underestimate Marcus Williams and live to see their plan succeed. Every betrayal would be met with measured, undeniable revenge. Vanessa walked into the boardroom one last time, expecting to assert control. Instead, she faced a room full of colleagues and legal advisors who now knew the full extent of her betrayal. Every plan she had carefully orchestrated to take advantage of Marcus while he was focused on his mother crumbled before her eyes. Contracts, emails, and documented transfers were laid out on the table. Her name was associated with deceit and manipulation. She tried to speak, to defend herself, but the room was silent. Every attempt at charm, every rehearsed excuse fell flat. Marcus had turned her own overconfidence into her undoing. "You misjudged me," Marcus said, calm but unwavering. "You thought my focus on family would make me vulnerable. You were wrong. Betrayal is never without consequence." Vanessa's face paled. Her ambition, once so sharp and precise, had led her to humiliation and loss. She had gambled against Marcus Williams and lost. The legal advisors finalized the measures that stripped her of any claim to the companies she had tried to manipulate. Publicly, her reputation was damaged, and privately, she knew she had underestimated the man she had married. After the boardroom cleared, Marcus returned to the hospital, his heart lifting as he entered his mother's room. Eleanor Williams lay resting, a soft smile on her face despite the weakness in her body. Marcus took her hand gently. "Mom, you are safe. You are going to be fine," he said, his voice filled with relief. She squeezed his hand weakly, her eyes full of love and pride. Marcus realized in that moment that no power, no wealth, and no betrayal could diminish the bond they shared. His strength, patience, and intelligence had protected both his family and his legacy. In the quiet of the hospital room, Marcus allowed himself to reflect. He had confronted deception, uncovered betrayal, and executed justice without compromising who he was. He had not only saved his mother, but also reclaimed control of his empire and life. Marcus Williams emerged from this ordeal stronger, wiser, and more vigilant. He had learned that trust must be earned, and that vigilance and strategy are as important in personal life as in business. Vanessa had received her comeuppance, a warning that betrayal against him would never go unpunished. As Marcus looked out the hospital window at the city below, he felt a renewed sense of purpose. Protector, strategist, and justice-driven billionaire, he knew he would face the future with unwavering resolve, ready for anything that might come. If you're new to this channel, make sure to subscribe. Which part of the world are you watching this video from? Comment below!